people should be allowed to better themselves without having to financially distress themselves. And you can cut that there.
I'm from New Brunswick, where it was actually impossible for me to attend post-secondary education because tuition fees in New Brunswick are about 2 times what they are in Newfoundland and Labrador.
I'm studying nursing at Mon here, and I think education is really important because it makes the world go round, and basically we don't need debts in our life because debts are what we fight against. That's what we need. That's what we're working towards. That's why we are going to school, to be able to work hard and study in life. And if you have debts, it's gonna be it's gonna be a major setback.
I'm here on February 1st in the UC, eats candy, and I think education is a right.
Education is a right, and it's more than that. It's the answer to the world's biggest problems. It's the answer to global warming, to peak oil, to finding equality for marginalized groups, and to ending extreme poverty.
If only the rich can afford to learn and move ahead, where does that leave the poor? We can't just carry them along. They got to be able to sustain themselves. Everybody needs to be able to do it. So get rid of tuition.
Student debt sucks.
Where I live should not determine the price I pay for education. It should be accessible to all from West Coast to East Coast and in between. Education is a right, not a privilege.
And it would be nice to see a reduction in tuition. We might pay one of the lowest tuitions across Canada, but it would be nice to reduce it a little bit.
Without the youth, there is no economics, because there is no going forward if we don't make it. So there should be a reduction.
I'm currently $14,000 in debt, and that sucks. Right now, I'm only taking a reduced course load because I have to work 2 jobs to pay rent and school at the same time.
I want to send a message to the New Brunswick provincial government and the Canadian federal government that education is a right, and that we need to make education a priority in this country.
Newfoundland and Labrador has interest-free student loans. Why can't the federal government do the same?
Drop the debt, okay? Thanks.
Education is a right.
I know in Newfoundland we do have, one of the most accessible forms in Canada, but there's still people who can't afford that $1,400 a semester for tuition. I personally don't think that money should be what decides if you can further yourself in society today.
Well, I think it's important that we continue to push our provincial government to make post-secondary education accessible here in the province, and to work with our federal government to have them create some form of national vision for post-secondary education. I'm ashamed to be living in one of the only OECD countries that has no vision for post-secondary education.
Education is a right, not a privilege, and I think the federal government should step up.
$25,000 in student debt right now, and I think that absolutely sucks. I'll be paying it off until I'm about 40, and it's still accumulating every year that I am a student, so hopefully we can do something to fix that. Thanks.
Is it going? Yeah, okay, perfect.
Education is a right. It should be free, and reduce tuition fees. Let's just get this done with.
I'm $5,000 in debt right now and counting, and I believe education is a right.
Students should be able to go to school for free. Education should be, a right. Everyone has a right to education, so it should be free.
I'm not going to get that chance to start off fresh in life. I'm not going to get the chance to be able to get a house with a mortgage right away. I'm going to be paying this off until I'm 40. I think Canada needs to step it up and support us in our education by reducing tuition across the country.
If you think you had to fight just to come to school, just to learn things.
My significant other and I finished university, and combined we owe about $65,000 worth of student loan debt, and as of now we pay about $820 a month to get rid of our debt. By the time we finish paying it off, we would have paid about $140,000 to the government.
So make education a priority again. In Newfoundland, we're pretty lucky to have it subsidized by the government, but in other provinces, especially places such as Ontario and a lot of the more populous provinces, not so lucky.
I have $31,000 in debt. I came here to Newfoundland because it was cheaper for me to come here, live on my own, and pay for everything than it was for me to stay at home in Nova Scotia and to travel into school every day.
The cost of university in Nova Scotia and other parts of the country are just way too high. Newfoundland at Memorial University is very cheap compared to the rest of them.
Nova Scotia government, you lost me, and you lost a lot of my friends, a lot of really brilliant people in my high school all left. And you're still raising the tuition? No. Federal government, there's a lot of changes that need to be made, and we are going to keep pushing for them until they're made.
I'm from here, and I had to move all the way up here to go to school because I couldn't afford it. It just isn't right. It should be free, really. Yes, I'm joking.
So I want to send a message to our federal government and to provincial governments across the country to take action on student debt, take action on tuition fees, and start to make post-secondary education more accessible.
Hi, my name is Travis Berry.
And I'm Jordan Chafe.
And we're students here at Memorial University of Newfoundland, where we have some of the highest quality, most accessible education in the country, but that's just not enough.
Today is our National Day of Action, and we're calling on the federal government to improve post-secondary education.
Education
is a right.
I am actually not sure if I will be able to come back here next year, since I'm doing my second year now, and I might not be able to come back for third year, since it's going to be too expensive, and I might have to move back to Iceland, because education there is free. That's all I have to say.
Like, I lived at home and I still racked up student debt, so I think it's really important that we get out there and we all support each other in this fight for more support from our government so we can actually get an education.
Education is a right. We shouldn't have to pay anything for education.